So our friends over at CNN are continuing to promote racial division, this time in medicine, promoting the need for equity amongst doctors and patients, that there should be an equal number of patients as doctors to represent the skin color. I'm going to play this 2-minute clip, and then I'm going to just come back to discuss why.
Right now, fewer than 6% of doctors in the U.S. identify as Black or African American. That's despite the fact that the community makes up 12% of the country's total population, and that's raising concerns about the impact on public health.
CNN Health reporter Jacqueline Howard joins us now. So, Jacqueline, what is being done to rectify this?
That's the thing, Bianna. More needs to be done to make sure that our physician workforce here in the U.S. reflects the diversity seen among patients. Now, what has been done so far? We've seen more efforts to get STEM programs in grade schools. At the medical school level, we've seen more mentorship programs, particularly for students of color. But when you look at the physician workforce right now, active doctors at this moment, we're still seeing 5.7% are Black or African American, and that's compared with, as Victor said, 12% of the U.S. population. When you look at Native Americans, less than 1% of doctors are Native American, and that's compared with up to 2% of patients. When you look at Hispanic or Latino physicians, 6.9% are doctors, compared with up to 18% of the U.S. population. So those differences are what's concerning here, and experts say we need to do more to make sure our doctor workforce reflects the diversity seen among patients.
Yeah, we need to do more because the research shows, and we've discussed this before, the benefits of a more diverse workforce. Sometimes doctors will dismiss the concerns or symptoms of a certain demographic. Explain what the studies show.
Exactly, Victor. And research shows that when we have a more diverse physician workforce, there's more understanding and more trust between the patient and the doctor. If the doctor has an understanding of the patient's cultural experiences, cultural background, lived experiences, especially when it comes to racism or discrimination or other aspects of their life, that can help with that physician-patient relationship. And we also see that patients are more likely to follow a physician's medical advice if they do have a feeling of being heard and understood. So all this plays a role in really improving public health, Victor and Bianna.
Jacqueline Howard, thank you so much.
Essentially, the case that CNN is making is that if your doctor is a different skin color than you, then he's not going to be compassionate, then he's not going to listen to you, and you should make a beeline for the door, run out to the parking lot, and grab your sign and protest against the hospital hiring practices that enabled this. It's ridiculous because, of course, the doctor should be able to listen to you and be professional, and it doesn't matter the color of your skin. This is called being a professional and caring about your patients equally and not seeing the skin color that CNN is telling us to see. And the question, my friends, that I have for you is, why do you think that CNN is so hell-bent on you paying attention to these factors? Why? There is new management at CNN, and you would have thought that they would have been brought in not only to protect the image of CNN, which right now is completely tarnished, but rather even to revive it to its past glory when it was deemed, according to its own moniker, the most trusted name in news, which of course it no longer is. Isn't this the purpose of the management? So why would they be allowing such a segment on air? The only thing that I can come up with, it's like a magician doing a magic trick. They get you to pay attention to this hand, what this hand is doing, so that you don't see this hand robbing you. So while they are creating the division and separation between the races that we haven't seen since the 1970s, 1980s at the latest, the parent corporation is using CNN as a loss leader as they dip their hand into the honeypot of taxpayer dollars that are so ever growing with the expanding presence of the federal government, along with all the printed trillions of dollars. They are reaching their hand in. Remember, CNN has a parent company, and maybe this is at behest of the shareholders at CNN and AT&T, which is the parent company, like BlackRock, like Vanguard, who are using the media apparatus to confuse the public, to divide the public as they gain access to all of the printed COVID money, to the massive inflationary pressures, and are putting it in their own pockets while they distract the public and divide us to argue along these racial lines. It's not something that sits well with me. I think that it's very destructive for America, the more that we embed ourselves in racial politics. And I just want to see beyond the immediate blowback that me also normally give to such things, and to ask why. And so if you guys have a theory that differs from mine, or you agree with it, please leave it in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious why they continue, the new management, to further tarnishes CNN's reputation. It's not just because it sells in the short term, because you want to have a broader umbrella of people watching you rather than just dividing it up into small segments. That's fine for something like TheRoot.com, whose business practice is to cater to one specific, very small segment of the population. And I know the media pie is naturally being divided up as more competition comes into play, and that you are just trying to play to the narrative of your audience, which is what CNN in this case might appear to be doing, but I'm offering once again a different theory. So CNN, a pox on you, your management, and your broadcasters for continuing to divide America along racial lines, which benefits the larger players, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, and of course, perhaps, the Chinas, who are the real owners, perhaps, today of America, or at least the direction where we seem to be going.